then you can create trust to others. So what is trust? First, we should know about this. Trust means confidence. If you trust people, you have confidence in them, in their integrity, in their agenda. If you don't have trust people, if you don't have confidence in their agenda, in their work ethics, everything. So what test is confidence. So how we can improve our trust, because it is very important for us. If you don't trust on yourself, and no one can trust on you. So first of all, we have trust on ourselves. So I am going to talking about four credibility, four cores of credibility. So first is integrity. What is integrity? Integrity means the a continued commitment for your life, for your professions, and all over aspects of your life. So integrity means, we can say it is the root of our success. Integrity is the self impression which you are leaving for leaving on others. I can say, actually, I take an example. If you are a doctor, are you thinking patient is are you thinking that patient is important for you? If you are politician, are you thinking your country is important for you? So I am taking a other example. जो महात्मा गांधी थे, महात्मा गांधी पर क्यों लोग ट्रस्ट करते थे? बिकॉज महात्मा गांधी जो सोचते थे वही फील करते थे, वही कहते थे एंड वही करते थे. दैट्स वाई. तो अगर हमारे अंदर ये चीजें हैं, हम इंटीग्रेट हैं, तो पीपल विल ट्रस्ट ऑन यू. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज इंटेंट. इंटेंट मीन्स एजेंडा, पर्पज which you are doing. क्या एजेंडा है, क्या पर्पज है आपका, जो भी आप कर रहे हो. लेट्स टेक एग्जांपल, एनजीओ एंड पॉलिटिशियन. आप किस पे ज्यादा ट्रस्ट करोगे? ऑब्वियस ही बात है, एनजीओ वाले पे ज्यादा ट्रस्ट करोगे. अगर पॉलिटिशियन आकर के आपके पास कहता है कि मैं आपके लिए ये करूंगा, वो करूंगा, आप उस पर ट्रस्ट नहीं करोगे. व्हाई? बिकॉज जो आपको उसका एजेंडा पता है, आपको उस पर ट्रस्ट नहीं है. आपको पता है कि अगर वो आपसे कुछ कह रहा है, कुछ प्रॉमिस कर रहा है, तो वो इसलिए कर रहा है कि उसके जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है उसको बेनिफिट होने वाला है, इसलिए वो आपके साथ में प्रॉमिस कर रहा है. बट जो एनजीओ वाले हैं, एनजीओ पे आपको ज्यादा ट्रस्ट होगा. क्यों होगा? क्योंकि वो आपके लिए कर रहे हैं, वो क्या कर रहे हैं, पीपल के लिए वैल्यू ऐड कर रहे हैं, तो उस पर ज्यादा ट्रस्ट होगा. तो इंटेंशन आपका राइट होगा, तभी लोग आप पे ट्रस्ट करेंगे. एंड नेक्स्ट इज कैपेबिलिटी. कैपेबिलिटी इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस, क्योंकि अगर कैपेबिलिटी को हम कह सकते हैं कि दिस इज द ब्रांच दैट प्रोड्यूस द फ्रूट. फ्रूट मीन्स रिजल्ट. So capability is the alignment between our passion, our skill, our knowledge, our talent, and our opportunity. Okay, so how can we improve our capability? Run with your strength. हमें किसी और की strength को नहीं देखना, अपने strength के according चलना है. And keep yourself relevant and know where you are going. अगर आपको ये नहीं पता है कि आप क्या कर रहे हो, तो आप आप अपने कैपेबिलिटी को इंक्रीज नहीं कर सकते. सो यू कैन हैव इंटीग्रिटी, यू हैव गुड नॉलेज, यू प्रोड्यूस गुड रिजल्ट इन पास्ट, बट यू डोंट हैव कैपेबिलिटी इन प्रेजेंट, यू वोंट गेट डिविडेंड ऑफ ट्रस्ट. तो अगर आप पास्ट में क्या हो डजंट मैटर, लेकिन आप प्रेजेंट में क्या हो, इट इज मैटर फॉर योर सक्सेस. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज रिजल्ट. ऑब्वियस ही बात है, रिजल्ट इज द फ्रूट ऑफ योर परफॉर्मेंस. आपने कितना परफॉर्मेंस किया है, कैसा परफॉर्म किया है, तो वो आपका रिजल्ट शो करता है. सो देयर आर 3 की इंडिकेटर्स बाय विच पीपल इवेल्युएट योरसेल्फ. योर रिजल्ट, पास्ट परफॉर्मेंस, प्रेजेंट परफॉर्मेंस एंड future performance. So how can we improve our result? Take responsibility for result, expect to win, and finish strong. So all these credibility which makes, okay, all this credibility which makes your trust strong on other person. So all that things which I want to sharing, Kiran. Thank you.
Thank you, Lalita ji. Really nice. In fact, I know कि your natural language is Hindi, but you chose to convert your language to English and try to speak it. Really, आप बहुत अच्छे से बात किए. And the book name is, I think, Speed of Trust by John C. Maxwell का है ना, Lalita ji? Speed of
Yes,
Trust
sir.
किसका है वो book? हाँ, तो I think it's a very good book. It actually talks about the power of trust. So wonderfully covered, Lalita ji. So we'll move
Thank
to the next speaker then.
So, good evening, everyone. I'm Saurabh, and today I'm going to tell you a story. This is a story about two friends, Pablo and Bruno, who were living in a very small village but desired to be very successful. So, they were looking for an opportunity to earn more and to be successful, and the opportunity it came in they had in form of being a water carrier. So the villagers, they need water, and that has to be carried from a water spring that was nearby. So what Pablo and Bruno used to do is they used to carry the buckets to uh, allow the villagers to have the waters, and they would be paid as per the buckets they are bringing to the village. So it was a good job for them, and Bruno had made a lot of list of to-do lists that he would be getting from the money he is going to earn. Like he is going to get a good home, a big home. He is going to buy a cow and something else. On the other hand, his other friend Pablo, he wasn't very satisfied with the job of carrying the buckets all the day, and uh, he was thinking about some ideas to uh, make it work very differently. So he came up with the idea of building a pipeline and reached his friend Bruno with that. But Bruno was very satisfied with his current job, and he was not interested in that. So what happened? Pablo, he decided to build the pipeline on his own, and during the day or during the work hours, he was carrying this bucket of water, bringing it to village. And during the night time or when he was having the off time, he was working on his idea of the pipeline. So since he was a loner on this, people were making fun of him all the time and was calling him Pablo the pipeline man. So initially, Bruno was earning more money and he was having a good home. He bought a cow, and after his work hours, he was going to bar and spending his time in leisures. But what happened after some time? His body started to taking the toil of the work he was doing, and he was getting sick and was not able to complete his task of bringing the water as he was used to do, as he was making it in his earlier time. And in the meanwhile, Pablo completed the pipeline, and he started immediately earning income, though he was working or not. But his pipeline was generating water with money for him every day. So the moral of this story is that in our life, we tend to trade our time for money. Means we can say that uh, if we work, we can get money, and based on that money, we are making our plans and other stuff, making our to do list. And we are only focusing on the present moment, but we are not focusing on what is going to happen in the future. So there may be chance that we may not be able to work, and you know the money it can stop. So we need to have to make our own pipeline. So in this world of bucket carriers, we have to be a pipeline maker. That is what I wanted to share. Thank you so much.
Amazing, Saurabh. As usual, you always finish your topic in right in time and you covered the entire story as well. It's an amazing story. In fact, it's I think very few people really understand the meaning, because जब तक हम लोग apply नहीं करते real life में, actually we don't understand. Because story is very, very powerful, but it's not that easy to implement, and that is where the creativity comes into the picture. Thank you so much, Saurav, for sharing your topic. So we'll.
Okay, hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Arun, and I'm basically from Bangalore. Born, brought up from Bangalore. I've done my education in Bangalore. I have close to 14 years of experience in corporate and work with one of the multinational company. So today I'm going to speak about a very important topic which everyone requires. You know, it's a kind of costume where we need to wear it invariably at any point of the time during the day or hour. It is a chapter called "Make Your Attitudes Your Allies, Your Friends," from the book Magic of Thinking Big. So we all know how we think shows through in how we act. So attitude is very important, and attitudes are in fact the mirrors of the mind. They reflect thinking. So whatever we think and what we act are depend. It shows us on how our attitude is. Now, maybe if you are smiling, it shows whether we are in enthusiasm mode or what kind of mood we are. So that's where attitude plays a very important role. So here there are three things we will speak about today. One is the three things which will help anyone to make their attitude uh, at their allies. First one is grow the attitude of I am activated. So results come in to those who invest in enthusiasm. Okay, so the more I am enthusiastic about life or anything what I do, the attitude within me is more positive. So there are three things within. How do I grow the attitude of keeping it activated? One is dig into it deeper. So whatever I'm doing, maybe I'm learning something new, any kind of it could be a music or any instrument, or it could be any kind of software which I'm trying to learn. Initially there might be some kind of obstacles, or they might, it might be difficult for me, but or it could be boring as well. But the more I dig in and learn more about it, this will set the enthusiasm. So I'll have to deep dive into it and understand how I can learn this better. So then I will really enjoy it. And that's where the attitude plays a major role. Second thing is live up everything about you, your smile, your handshake, the way you talk, and even how you walk. So you do it with the right attitude, and it shows that you're more positive. And third is broadcast some good news, share some good news with people. So that we all know that there's no one who has accomplished anything, no one who has achieved anything by sharing anything bad. So there are a lot of people who keep talking about bad. This will not work, or this is something that's already common. We have already seen this long back. But it all depends on how we carry the attitude and see it in a positive attitude. So one example I would like to quote myself example is the current book club. So this is something I started off in the month of March, when the entire, all my friends or whoever my family members, my relatives were speaking about the negative thing about the corona, the COVID situation. I try to attract this book club, and really it helped me a lot. And today I'm able to read a lot of things, and it's really a learning platform. It's helping me a lot. The second point is grow the attitude of you are important. Start appreciating people, make them feel really happy. It could be anyone, maybe even a maid who comes to your home. You just tell them that today you've really cleaned the house very nice. So that is something, we don't have to spend anything money. The moment we say, they will not ask us, you give me a hike of 10% or 20% then from the next month. But it's just a small gesture that show appreciation at every opportunity. Do something special for your family, which is very important. It does not have to be very expensive. It can just be a small a planned time. Maybe once I'm coming back from my office, I ensure that today at least maybe 7 to 8 I spend some time with my kids, and some small surprises. So that will really help, and create a lot of positive environment. So I just want to share, Karthik, we just have a few more seconds, or what's the time?
Yeah, sure, Arun. You can summarize.
I'll just wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one quick example here I want to share is one of my team member, my junior. There was very important deliverable which we had to share, and I know this would take a long time. This would take at least one whole day, starting because this came up very recently evening, and I just told him that you've always been doing excellent job, and you are the one person I know that I can trust upon. And then I told him that this is something really urgent. We need to complete this, but you just look at it how we can close it. But by tomorrow evening is what I told him. And he ensured throughout night, he stretched it. And the next day morning, by 10 o'clock, he gave me the news saying that, it is done. So that's where I think the appreciation and keep recognizing people helps a lot. And the third attitude is grow the attitude of service first. And the fame or money or whatever will come back. So make it a rule in everything that you give people more than they expect to get. So that's about it from my end. Over to you. Thanks.
Yeah, amazing. People who are not talking can mute themselves. Yeah. So it was very nice, Arun. As you mentioned, very good points on grow, attitude, live up, share, and service, and live testimony of how you handle your junior with a nice appreciation to get the work done. It's very nice. Yeah. So I think, can we go to Charanjit next?
Yeah, Karthik. Yeah. I'm audible?
Yeah, Charanjit. Perfect.
Okay. Hello, good evening all. This is Charanjit Singh. I'm basically from Punjab, but working in Pune as a software tester. So today my topic is about how to think like a leader and how to lead your team. So this is a chapter from a book named Magic of Thinking Big. So the author has mentioned the 4 leadership rules. Today I will cover 2. The first one is how to trade minds, with people you want to influence, and the another one is find a way to handle things in a human way. So we know we also have a leaders, right? You are working for someone, you have manager, you have a team lead. Okay, so just imagine, so how they have reached that position, right? This is all because of the team efforts that they have done, the team that they are leading to, and due to their success, eventually that turn the promotion for that person, right? So what author talks about that the first rule is trade minds with the people you want to influence. What does it mean? You always have to think from the people size, how they will react in a certain situations. If you are giving instruction to someone, then just put yourself in that person position and think how that person will react. Whether you are if you are assigning him any tasks, whether you are delegating some authority as well, whether you are giving him the right inputs that he needs, whether he has that right skill or not. So there are some case studies that author has mentioned. So I will talk about one. So there was one person named Ted. He was a director of one advertising company. So he was assigned to promote one commercial through his advertisement agencies, where he promoted some advertisements. But the way he was promoting that ad was just based on what he think that the ad should be like. He was not thinking about the bigger audience and the people that that product that company wanted to pitch for. So so eventually what happened, only out of 100, I would say only the 4% people liked the advertisement when they analyzed and they got the results of that survey which they did. So what author is saying here, you don't need to always think from your point of view whether people will like this product or whether the people will like this ad or not. You have to be in their position, that how you will react to that ad if you would be in their shoes, right? So there is another lady whose name is John. What she was doing, she was very capable, she was really talented, but she was born in a very well-educated family and a rich family. But when she assigned the responsibility to pitch for a product that his company uh, was doing the advertisement for, she was just thinking from her point of view, like she was very rich, so she didn't ever compromise on the price, and she always looked for the style and the color, right? But if you are leading a company and if you need a customer for your product, you have to think whether this will fit in the pocket of the customers or not. So she was not doing that thing, so where she got the failure. So the second rule is about what was the rule? Yeah, the second rule is find a human way to do the things. So this is very common leadership, I would say, skill that everyone needs if you are working in corporate sector. Like you might have seen and you have experienced that leaders who are good leaders, uh, you might have experienced where they personally appreciate the efforts of the employees, right? So if they are giving the instruction to someone, they think how they will react if they would be instructed by their managers. And the same way, the author has given one example. There was a manager in one manufacturing company. His name was John. So what he was doing, whenever a new employee comes in his team who is from a different cities and town, he always tried to manage the things for him, like finding accommodation for him and giving him some for doing some personal interactions, which was really getting the loyalty from the employees. So so the another example is about there was one guy who was working in a factory, but one day he came in a workshop. He was drunk, but he had some issues in his family, so he was drunk and he was stressed. And when the manager noticed that he was drunk, so next day that person was thinking that he would be fired out. But the manager actually got to know what was the situation that that employee was going through, and he realized, and he did not uh, tell him to like, he did not fire him, and he understood his situation. So that's the way, that's the approach that the leader should adopt. Like every time, if you are giving the instructions, if you are assigning some responsibilities to your subordinates, you have to think from their point of view, what are the things that they need from you, whether they need help or whether they need a guidance. So that's all from my side, Karthik. Thank you. I think this will add a value, like how we should lead and how we should react in a corporate world. And if you have a subordinates, if you are at a senior position, then how you should react to your subordinates. Thank you.
Great, Coach Ranjit. Amazing points. I think he shared multiple examples.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. So, I think people have covered a set of good topics across all different points. So now I'm going to continue with the topic that I was speaking last couple of weeks ago, is 25 Ways to Win with People by John C. Maxwell. So I spoke about a few qualities that every leader should possess. Continuing to that, something that I really could relate, and I found this valuable, was pointing out people's strength. So how many times do we come across people who tell us that, okay, you're doing wonderful in this, or you're very unique with this? It's very rare, right? But it's one of the very biggest qualities of a leader. So this was a conversation between Les Parrott in the book, along with John C. Maxwell. And Les Parrott says, like, how are you so strangely, surrounded by only stars? He asked this to John C. Maxwell, and John C. Maxwell says two important points. Point number one is he always hires people who are at 10s and 9s. That is the rate, the way you scale people in respect to performance. And those people attract 8s and 9s. That's how this book club also is formed, right? We attracted each other with the same mindset. So, when these people are hired, he ensures that he puts them in their areas of strength, which is very important. And putting people in their areas of strength actually improves the productivity, and it's a win-win situation for both the organization and to the person. Now, for example, you are not interested in something, and you are put into that, and it's not something of your strength, and you're putting in that area. How excited would you be to actually perform the work? Not at all, right? So when we concentrate on people's strengths, like I said, the productivity is higher. And we're so used to, the moment we see some person, we start judging. We will like, okay, this person might be weak on this. It's not just with others, we do it with ourselves as well. So that is one point that we need to refrain from doing. And three important points that John C. Maxwell shares about pointing out people's strength is find uniqueness in every person. See, what I possess, Karthik might not possess. What Karthik might possess, I might not possess. Or anybody in this team right now who's sitting and watching, I might not have everything that each one has, right? So each one has a unique strength. So we need to point out that to increase a better workplace, or it could be in any field of work, because we work with people everywhere. And the second one is people are motivated in their area of strength. So had you put people into an area that they are not interested in, they will not work. They will just come. They just need to do their job and go. So putting there will actually motivate them to do more. And the last one is they add their value most over there. So if you take a cricket team, if you take Dhoni, for example, he actually concentrates, and he's a true leader, right? Because he knows where each one's strength is. So he obviously did not give, a batsman just bowling all the time. So he put people in the right place. Even if you take Virat now, he puts ABD only first for the batting, because he knows that guy can take it over. So that's the quality of a leader. A leader is a successful person, will put himself in the right place, but a successful leader will put others also in the right place. So that's very important. And as always, remember that you should not find for others weaknesses, and always find for strengths, and forget about weakness of others. And always do is you need to see uniqueness in each person that you come across. And last thing is, every person that you meet, say something good about them, say something that will encourage them, and point out their strengths so they can focus on the same and do more of it. So that's what I wanted to share.
Very nice, Sarana. So in continuation to the leadership talk, the main point she's going to, the stressing point is find people's strength. Okay, everybody has strength and weakness. Find people's strength. It can be your teammate, it can be your subordinate, it can be your wife, it can be your kids, anyone. Find their strengths and work on their strengths. Okay, so yeah, I think if anybody wants to go next, okay, I don't see any hands set. So okay, I'll just go ahead. I want to cover an interesting topic today, and this is a autobiography from the book Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. I just this autobiography is about a successful online travel, as founder of an online travel company. I'm sure you'll get to know shortly. Okay, this guy's name is Deep Kalra, and he was a IIM Ahmedabad pass out 1992. Okay, he was an average Delhi dude, and after he passed out of IIM Ahmedabad, he was not ambitious initially, he would say, and he joined ABN AMRO. So he was working in the bank for 2-3 years, and then he was thinking, okay, let me do something of my own. Then he analyzed a few businesses like Pizza Hut, Arvind Mills, and it didn't work out. So he joined AMF Bowling. Okay, like bowling alleys. In 90s, it was not that common, and there were not many malls or multiplexes. So those bowling alleys was like, he thought, okay, it is very advanced for that time. And so he had to leave AMF Bowling also. And then he joined again GE as a employee. Okay, there he met this then president Nitin Gupta, and he actually inspired him. So what he did, he was talking about how consumer finance is being dealt in a routine way. And why not we use internet? Because in 99, 2000, internet was booming, right? So then like it was like a bulb glowing for this guy, and he thought, okay, why should I not do something of my own on the internet? Let me use this opportunity. So when the opportunity came, he seized it. So he thought of two things, online stockbroking and online travel portal. So he thought, okay, what to choose in this? So personally, he is very like his liking is towards travel. He likes travel very much. So thought, okay, let me start online travel portal. He started as India Ahoy, but later it became Make My Trip. So I'm talking about makemytrip.com. Okay, so initially when he started, he was working for GE in the daytime, and in the nighttime he was working on this venture. And initially he got some VC funding. Actually he was not so experienced, so he almost got $2 million of VC funding, and he sold 70% of his company initially. Then in the 2000, this E-Ventures was about to pack up, and then okay, he bought he invested all his life savings, and he bought his company back. So initial 18 months, there was not much growth. He had to put all his money, and he was not able to make any returns. And his office also started decreasing from 3,000 to 1,000 square feet. His employees strength from 40 to 20 employees. And in those 20 employees, now those 15 employees are like VCs or co-founders and the VPs. Okay, so initially when he's I think in 2001 2002 frames, India was not much into online, right, as you also know. So but this NRI people used to book flights from US to India, India to US. So he stopped his advertisement in India, and he started focusing on NRI people to get revenues. In that way he sustained the WTC attack, Parliament attack, and the SARS, all these downfalls he was able to sustain. Then after in 2005, actually some like breath of fresh air. Like the Make My Trip made $15 million gross and $2 million in commission. But still, if in order to move ahead, during the 2005-6 time, they started domestic airlines in India. So, and there were a lot of ads in the newspapers for flight bookings. He thought, okay, this is a good opportunity, but he again had to invest. So again, he didn't have any money. So he thought, okay, let me leave this. And he told his co-founders also, let us go back to our jobs, or we have to fight here. They all decided, okay, let us fight here, go ahead. Again, he bought some funding, and again, he started proceeding further. So by March 2008, Make My Trip achieved $250 million in sales and approximately 1,000 crore. Okay, that translates to $20 million in commissions and 80 to 90 crore. That is 80 to 90 crore, and 70% of the business in India, with close to 10,000 tickets being sold online each day. Okay, as of when this book was written. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share. I'll just share the image of this guy before I end to summarize, and what he's telling for us. I hope you're able to see my screen. This is Deep Kalra, the founder of Make My Trip, and he shares some 4 important things to upcoming entrepreneurs. Choose your field very carefully. There must be a huge market and potential. If you don't have personal expertise in this field, get a team of domain experts logged in, preferably as partners or co-founders. Okay. Second thing, it's all about people. Hire the best folks in the business. Don't hesitate to hire people better than yourself in that specific area. Colleagues who challenge and make you feel uncomfortable are your best friends, and the yes men are your worst enemies. Okay. Third thing, make friends at work and promote an honest and open working atmosphere. Ensure everyone has fun at work. People tend to give their best when they are enjoying their work. And the last thing is, don't focus too much on exits, especially not too early in the game. Concentrate on building a solid business. The rest will take care of itself. Okay. So yeah, I think this is what I wanted to share. It's a good inspiration to share and read about autobiographies. Thank you.
I think this makes sense with what Saurabh was sharing. He was sharing about Parable of the Pipeline, right? So that's what even Deep Karla did. So while he was working for GE, he was building his own pipeline on focusing on his strength that was good in the market. So it's very important that we focus on that as well. So yes.
Yeah, perfect. So can we go ahead? I think Shiva has raised his hand. Shiva, you want to go ahead?
Hello. Yeah, Karthik. Yeah, I'll be going.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, today my topic is related to a small story about a company CEO who is going to retire in 1 year. And in this, he was going to retire in 1 year. He planned at least if he is going to retire in 1 year, at least he want to add someone who is honest, courage and trust, and he doesn't want to add his co-directors or his family members to the his post. And what he decided, at least he can take some of his executive in a company, and at least he can test them and he can give the post to them. And one day he called all the young executives, and he told that he called everyone in the conference room, and everyone gathered, and he told that today, from today, the 1 year, I'll give everyone a task, and you have to achieve the task, and who is going to win in the task, they'll become a next CEO. And everyone was surprised by saying this. We are a young executives, and he is giving a task to us, and how can we become a CEO and all. And he told that this is my task, and everyone was happy with this one. And the company CEO, the director and CEO, he bought some seats, and he gave to all the persons, executives in the room. And in that one, there was one person by name Jim, and he was also there, and everyone took the seat, and they went to their home, and they planted. And this Jim, he told his wife about this story, and his wife, she bought she bought the pot, composite and everything, and she put that seed to that pot and everything, and they started pouring the water each and every day. They were following up for the plant, whether the plant will grow or not, each and every day. But nothing had happened. About Jim was doing all his hard work day by day, but nothing could do. And when he went to the company, and his co-subordinates, they were telling about all this one, my plant is growing like this, and it's amazing, those stories and all. And days passed, and nothing. The Jim, he was watching 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and finally all 6 weeks. And Jim told his wife about narrated the story about his colleagues. They were talking about, my plant is growing like this, those things and all. Finally, the Jim thought he was a failure, and but Jim thought he is a failure. But his wife told him that, see, whatever you have done, you are putting your efforts, but the plant is not growing. You are doing all the work, you're pouring water, and you're taking care of that plant, but nothing had happened. And finally, the day has come, and from the day has come, and the direct CEO told everyone to bring the plant. And finally, CEO told everyone to bring the plant, and Jim told that to his wife, I'll not go to the office, because see, everyone were talking about the plant and all, and if everyone are bringing those type plants and all with a good this one, and I'll be frustrated, and I cannot give my face to each and everyone, every executives in my this one. And finally, what has happened? And that Jim also took his pot. His wife encouraged him to take that whatever the hard work he has done, you go and show that hard work and honest what you have done with courage and all. And finally, everyone gathered in that meeting room, and everyone bought their plan. And the executive and the CEO of the company came with this one with a smile and all, and he was told, "Hurry, what an amazing plans, those things and all." He told everyone. And but Jim, by seeing that Jim, he had an empty pot with that this one, nothing was there. And everyone, he told everyone to, Jim was hiding behind everyone, and he told Jim to come ahead. And but when Jim, to everyone was laughing at Jim, but everyone bought the plants, but Jim had only the pot with mud and those things, and he could not do anything. And finally that CEO called Jim to come front and stand, and told everyone to sit except Jim. And Jim thought that he was a failure, but the CEO told that I am today I will be announcing as a new CEO to the company. And everyone was shocked, who will be the next CEO and all. And finally, the Jim was selected as a CEO, but everyone was shocked. How come Jim was selected as a CEO? And the story was that finally the director told how everyone was shocked, and they were asking about the directors, how Jim has become the director. And the CEO told that, see, I have given each and every executive a seed. That was a boiled seed. It was already dead seed. And what you guys had done, you have substituted the seed and you planted new seed and you bought different types of seeds. And in this, only Jim had, he was honest, courage and trust. And he didn't manipulate anything. Whatever I gave, he has done his hard work and he bought. And he has gained the trust, honest and courage on this one. That's why I'm selecting him as a CEO to the company. And in this, if you plant honestly, you will reap trust. Like that, this is this one, Karthik. What do you, Karthik?
Nice, Shiva. I was actually noting down some points which you told. Actually, as you said, it was a very interesting story. Why? Because the qualities, it's not like just you solve the problem or something, but the qualities you exhibit, I think that is what the CEO or the management recognize.
Yeah.
So very nice, wonderful. So I think Mahima has raised her hand. Mahima, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, hi Karthik. I'll go ahead. So my topic is actually a combination of what Mr. Shiva and Mr. Arun spoke about. So I'll be talking about attitude. Currently, I'm reading this book called You Can Win. It's by Shiv Khera. So the first topic in this book that he covers is the attitude of a person. Now, a lot of people, when you look at job interviews and when you look at recruiters, they always focus on the attitude of a person more than the skill. So 85% is how you enter the room, how you are seated, and there might be a lot of courses and YouTube videos that you see that focus on your body language when you're in an interview, how you should face people, how you should be sitting with your legs. So that is very important. So your attitude actually determines whether you are qualified for the job more than the amount of answers you have for that particular role. So this happened with me also when I was interviewing in college for a few different job positions. Every time I was sitting for a finance interview, I was never confident with that role because I never liked finance to begin with. So my attitude when I used to approach the recruiter used to be so negative that they used to look at me, and even though I was able to answer the questions they asked, I was confident that I would never get into it because my attitude to the entire job itself was wrong. But when it came to marketing and sales, I was so excited about it that the recruiter saw that even if I don't know anything about marketing and sales, at least their attitude to sell or their attitude to market something would always be there throughout the company. So the 3 points that I want to cover today is how does the attitude of a person actually get determined right from the beginning and how it can be changed. So the first most important thing is the environment. Now, environment of a person can be anything right from the birth of a person till the end, the culture they grow in and the backgrounds they have, the people that they have around them, the social media influences that they get, their schooling, their work, everything is the environment that a person is growing in, which basically shapes the attitude. And that is something which cannot be changed because that is to some extent something that you are just born with and you have to deal with it irrespective. So what happens over here is your environment is something that starts developing your attitude. So the more negative and the more positive people you are around, that kind of attitude starts getting imbibed into you right from the beginning. Now, what you can change is the second point, which is your experience. So experience is one of the most important things that can change your attitude. But what happens here is the more positive attitude that you have and the more confidence you have in yourself, that is when you will be able to approach more things, be able to take more risks. And only if you're able to approach things and take risks, then is when you're able to learn. And when you are making mistakes and experiencing something, that is when you are able to change and, inculcate those experiences into your attitude. So if I go into something and I learn that this particular thing did not go well and this particular thing did not suit me, then my attitude from that entire experience changes. Whether it goes into a positive way or a negative way, that depends on the experience I have. So that is the second most important thing. And lastly is your education, which is basically your formal as well as your informal education. So all the knowledge that you are acquiring, whether you are acquiring it through textbooks, through school, or through people around you, you are able to acquire it. But if you are strategically able to apply it, then you are able to translate that entire knowledge which you have into wisdom. So what a lot of people don't understand these days is that knowledge is one thing which teaches you how to earn a living. But what people should also learn is from the knowledge that you are getting, you should first learn how to live. So these are basically the 3 most important E's that you should focus on. And if these 3 E's are sorted, then your attitude towards everything also gets sorted simultaneously. That was my topic. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice, Mahima.
Good evening, friends. This is Dilip Gupta, connected from Pune. I have experience around 17 years in IT experience and other experience around another 4-5 years. So, from Think and Grow Rich, the author Napoleon Hill, he has done so many of research before writing this this book. And I am just talking about today, about the failures of leadership. What normally leaders face and why the leaders get failed. So it has got around 10 points. So I'll try to cover first 5 points from today. So uh, I just wanted to share my screen. Okay. Okay. Is it clear now? I don't see it. Okay, fine. Okay, so normally what happens, like when you get into a leadership, like as you say, I was covering last week I was covering the major attributes of leadership, and today I'll be covering the failures. So more or less, like these are all the, again we can call as attributes, but the author has mentioned these points separately. So, and normally we get to we come across when you start on any leadership position, whether you are at home or you are in office. So these are all the major challenges you'll be facing. So it talks about the inability to organize the details. Okay. So when it comes to leadership, and if you are asked to do something, when you can you do any kind of excuse, so, or like I don't have time to do, or I'm full with so many other tasks I cannot do. So there is no such task that you can say though, and you are supposed to do that. You cannot always, being a leader, you cannot say I cannot do it, I don't have time. Because as a leader, if I own a project, I own the responsibility, and whatever work comes out of the project, I have to do. Even if I am not doing, I have to get that particular task done. So that is where, like, when the leaders say that I don't have time, so that is where he is going to fail. And is where the customer demand, suppose you are addressing delivering to a customer, a client, you cannot say no, I can't deliver this one. So cost and all separate thing. Okay, so that is what I wanted to convey here. The author is wanted to convey here. Second thing is the willingness to render humble service. Humble service in the sense, whatever work there, suppose you don't have enough resource to do, you should be ready to handle it, you should be ready to do it. So again, it's a kind of, if it is going to be a technical work, you will have to do the technical work. As a leader, you need to know all this. Even at home also, if you at home you have a home team, and you are leading there also, so you are responsible for your home. In that case, you need to get the work done by your home team. If others are not able to do it, or they are not doing it, you have to do it. So ground level, you have to come, and you have to do this task. Third thing is, he is talking about people are paying you. When you talk about outside people, outside world is paying you not for not what you know, but what you know and what you do it. So that is where, again, I cannot show that I cannot keep saying that I know everything, but when it comes to doing it, and if I'm escaping, then I'm not a leader, I'm not doing that leadership work, and there I'll have to meet with the failure. The fourth thing is the competition of followers. I'll give one live example of my own team. When I was leading a team, I there are certain tasks I gave to one of the my team people. I delegated him, but what he did was he learned the thing. He tried to keep by himself. He did not share his knowledge, but there what happens, like he was trying to overcome, uh, he was trying to do something that I will lose my, I should lose my leadership, or I should lose my project. That is where, no, I should not, in that case, being a leader, I will have a great risk, I may lose the project, or it may go to someone else. So in that case, what happens, I should never fear. I should never get that fear, that if I don't do this, and I'm going to lose if I don't delegate this particular job. I'm going to lose my project. So, but in that, even in that case also, I need to take necessary measures so that I will head the project. I will keep the leadership within me myself, and also get the work done and deliver the work to the client. So that is where this is the crucial thing, where many people, many leaders, what they do, they don't delegate, and they start doing by themselves, wherein the leaders always like focus on so many, I mean, have to focus on so many things, so that they have to he has to accomplish, and he cannot keep on doing like keep the fear within himself that he might lose his leadership, he might lose his position. So this is the fourth point, and the last point I'll be talking about is the lake of imagination. And folks, like being a leader, you have to imagine. You need to see the future. What is going to happen? If we cannot imagine that what is going to happen, what will the precaution measures I need to take for my project, for my work, and I need, if I don't see the future, then I will definitely uh, get the failure. So these are the five points I wanted to talk. One is that you need to be organized about the details of work, and then you need to be a humble service, like you should be ready to give your own service and to the ground level. And also the doing things makes much importance. Fourth is that we should never think of never fear of having the followers in the competition. And also the fifth is that we need to imagine and see the future, what might happen to lose the to see the failure. So thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Rajan Singh Rathore. I am a software engineer in Bangalore, and today my topic is believe you can succeed and you will. Book name is The Magic of Thinking Big, author by David Hart Swatard. So my topic is believe you can succeed and you will. So success means freedom from failure, frustration. So this is a meaning of success. Success means you want to achieve best in your life. So that is a success. Success means win, and success and achievement is the goal of life. Every human beings want to success in his life, and everybody want to best in his life. So some most practical success come from faith. So believe, if you really believe you can achieve, so you can get it. So that is a key of success. If you think it is impossible, so some people think like that, so it is a way of failure. So people who think about it is impossible, so it is a only wishful thing, because they don't believe in his dream or desire. So if you can think you can achieve, so you can succeed. If you believe you can get, so definitely you can succeed. So if this way you can get achieve. If I am a positive, I can do it, so this attitude will generate the power, skill, so you can get the success. So it is the main frame of thought of this topic. So today I am going to share one story about that belief. One country is Hungary. वहाँ एक सिपाही था जिसका नाम कैरोली टॉक्सस था और वो एक पिस्टल शूटर था अपने बटालियन में. So he was the most means he was the hero in his country because he won the lots of medal in his national championship. So all Hungarian was thinking that time he definitely next Olympic he will win the gold medal, and also Karoli Toxas was thinking definitely I will get the gold medal in pistol, and he believed he definitely I will get it. But what happened just before 1940 Tokyo Olympic, he lost his hand from because क्योंकि वो एक सोल्जर था तो उसके हाथ में ग्रेनेड फट गया और उसका एक लेफ्ट हैंड शरीर से अलग हो गया. सो ऑल हंगेरियन वाज थिंकिंग कि हाउ इट पॉसिबल, ऑल दे आर फ्रस्ट्रेटेड कि ये कैसे हो गया, और उन लोगों को बहुत दुखी हो. लेकिन उस कंट्री में केवल एक आदमी था जिसपे कोई दुखी नहीं था क्योंकि वो हार नहीं माना था, और वो था कैरोली टॉक्सस. और आफ्टर ही गेट वो अपने राइट हैंड को प्रैक्टिस पे लगा दिया पिस्टल शूटिंग में, और आफ्टर 1 year ही बैक टू fight with his country national championship and he got the medal. And next time again he joined the 1944 gold Olympic. He got the again medal, and also he participated in 1954 again he won the gold medal. So ये पहला आदमी था जो ओलंपिक में कंटिन्यू ओलंपिक गोल्ड मेडल जीता था. इसके पहले किसी ने भी कंटिन्यू 2 ओलंपिक में गोल्ड मेडल नहीं जीता था, क्योंकि ही हैज अ बिलीव कि उसके पास बिलीव था कि आई कैन विन. सो ही गॉट द गोल्ड मेडल इन ओलंपिक 2 times. From that system I came from my side.
Wonderful, amazing Rajendra ji. In fact, every time आप बोलते हो आप 1%, 5% आप improve करते ही जा रहे हो. Keep coming. I think within few months आप एक इतने अच्छे स्पीकर बन जाओगे. इनफैक्ट मैं आपको विजुलाइज करके देखता हूँ कि यार राजेंद्र जी जब वो खूंखार वाले रूप में आ जाएंगे, जब चीजें ऐसे फ्लो के हो जाएंगे, तो कैसा तहलका मचने वाला है. And every time you speak, every time I see there a lot of improvement. Keep learning, Rajendra ji. I know कि a lot of preparation आप करते हो back end में, and then you speak, and it is really wonderful to hear you every time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kiran.
Okay. Cool. So I'll take the topic. I think a lot of people have spoken really nicely. I have to see the recording. बहुत अच्छे speaker को मैं सुन नहीं पाया, तो मैं सुनना चाहता हूँ. But then yeah, what Rajendra spoke, and before that, who was the before speaker? Mahima spoke क्या उससे पहले? Who was the speaker? Mahima. Okay. दिलीप जी, हाँ दिलीप चाचा ने भी बात किया था leadership के ऊपर. So my talk will be very, very concentrated, and the steps which I'm going to share with you is so powerful, and just keep keep your attention very short. Few of the points which I'll be sharing, it may sound very simple, it may sound very simple to you, but then the application, very few people really apply it, and that is what the difference is all about. So if I ask you, tell me where can you really find gold with your current tools, and let's say you go to outside your home and tell me where do you find gold. Most people do not have proper tools. Actually, there is gold everywhere. Most people are not trained to see it. The moment you're trained to see it, you will see gold everywhere. And when I say gold, everything can be turned gold. Everything can be turned financially powerful, financially wealthy, as long as you're trained to do that. So today I'll talk about 8 steps. The first steps: find a greater reason than reality, the power of spirit. It's pretty simple and profound, because I'll tell you my reasons why I got super excited about this first step. Because if you don't have any strong reason yet, trust me, whatever I'm going to speak, the next 7 steps, it'll actually make no sense to you, because there's a lot of hard work. It is not going to be. And I'll also tell you the output, what I have been getting the output for past 3 years when I've been applying few of the steps. Okay? So the first reason, what are my reason? My first reason was very simple. Since my childhood, I'm seeing my dad working so hard so that me and my brother have a good family, good lifestyle, good education, and we'll have a better future. So he sacrificed all of his dreams and aspiration, whatever dream MRP, whatever he must have kept for himself, that is already piled up on my head. So Papa ka dream MRP, mera bhi dream MRP. So it's a huge dream MRP, list is pending. That is one reason. Second reason is that I used to feel money is not important that much. You should always think about bigger things. But I used to ignore the responsibilities which is connected with money. I used to ignore you need some money for your survival as well. So until unless you take care of your survival need, your money will hit you anyway. So you need to take care of your survival need. So this second reason. The third reason is that initially, I think 3 years back when I was aspiring for my higher studies, of Imperial College London, it was number 1 in my domain. I had superb aspiration to go there and read it and study there. But for that, I needed around 34.56 lakhs of investment and to get a visa. And I got some partial scholarship, but then still I could not arrange the full money in the deadline period, and I lost my opportunity. That is the time I decided, I took the strong decision within myself, this situation will never come back to me again. If I need 35 lakhs, it should be there in my bank account. If I need 40 lakhs, it should be there in my bank account. I should not think of taking loan also. And that was so strong. At that time, I realized that learning financial knowledge, learning about wealth building is very, very essential. And the more early you start, the more time you have to fail. The more time you have to fail, and actually you can make it more bigger. So these are the 3-4 reasons of mine. You might have multiple reasons, but you need to have your reason. And this is where Wheel of Life, 30 reasons can help you. Full and final settlement can help you. MRP, which Vijay and all the coaches in PM suggest, it can actually help you to find your strong reason. The second choice, the second step, make daily choices, the power of choice. Once your first step is clear, the power of choice will actually work like magic. Why? The moment this first step was clear to me, I sat with my coach, I sat with Vijay, and created a game plan to apply in my life on a daily to daily basis. What did I apply? I realized that my job itself would not fulfill all of my dreams and aspiration. I need to work on some idea wherein I can parallelly build my wealth. And that is when I started working with Vijay on a sales idea. And Vijay gave me multiple strong changes to make. He told, Kiran, you're a techie guy. You're a technology guy. So obviously communication, sales, marketing, leadership will be completely out of subject for you. But trust me, if you really want to become financially wealthy, these 4 to 5 skills are very, very, very essential for you. So what I did, I started making choices to improve myself in these areas. So what choices I made every single day? Vijay told every single day I need to listen 2 to 3 podcasts, area which I've chosen to grow on. Every single day I need to listen. I have to read 15 to 30 minutes of book reading. Why? It's not that I used to enjoy reading book. Till now, I can tell you honestly, if you give me a choice, Kiran, 1 hour I'll give you a movie to watch or book reading. I will still choose movie only. I won't go for book reading. I will still choose to listen to some, music or audio podcast. I will still not go for book reading. But Vijay gave me very strong. You are very young. So the one reason for you could be you may not have tremendous experience in life. How about borrowing people's experience who are experts in multiple domains? So book gave me another reason. Second reason, Kiran, while you're young, many people do not have patience. Because when you're dealing with people, when you're working with a team, you need to be impatient with you, but you have to be patient with people. Now, how can you develop patience with people? When you read books with a concentrated thing, you actually develop patience in a consistent manner. And that is how I develop patience as well. And things which all these 4 books are mentioned, those books are so amazing when you apply all those things. So there's so many reasons to read books. So I got it. My habit got changed after 3-4 months of continuous push from my coach. And when I failed a couple of times, then I realized, no, Kiran, I have to change. I'm being very arrogant out of my degree. I have to change. So I changed. So every single day, 15-30 minutes of book reading, then 30 minutes to 1 hour of workout or sports, whichever you like. Because if your health is not good, then nothing makes sense. And again, you have your office hours, 9 to 10 hours office goes off. And after that, you will be still having around 2 to 3 hours for your own aspiration, for your own investment plan. It could be anything. Maybe you're building some asset. Maybe you're doing some course which can yield you wealth. That could also be one of the idea. And it could be helping your team as well. If you're running your business, or investing time with your family, with your close circle, so that you build a solid relationship. So all these things I took as a priority on a daily to daily basis. And I started applying for almost 2 to 3 years now. I tell the output also in the end. The third thing, choose friends carefully, the power of association. This is something so powerful. It is not about the talent anymore, because if I see in my association, so many people are super talented, but also there are a lot of people which are toxic. The talent to hai, but the mind is completely toxic. People will start speaking a lot of negativity. And here Vishal suggested a very good line to me. He told Kiran, even a channel of dirty water, when it connects with river Ganga, after some point of time, it becomes super pure. And that is how PIM can play a role on you. See, you don't have to do anything. Even if you just connect yourself with PIM, it is like river Ganga. You stay with for 1 year, subconsciously you will become optimistic. Subconsciously, what will happen when you start talking to your friends, if they're talking negative, your mind will shut down. मेरे साथ अभी ऐसे ही होता है. The moment I talk to anyone, if I feel anything negative, automatically my subconscious will shut down. Oh no, this guy is not the right person, and that particular content will get filtered out of my brain. I can't tell things people that negative, which is not adding value to me, I'll filter it out. But for me, people are more important there. So you will learn how to do that if you just plug in into the right association, which is currently already you are there. The fourth step, master a formula, then learn a new one. The power of learning quickly. This is the most toughest thing to implement for people who are S personality. For people who are D, they will take the charge and they will change things very quickly. In fact, one of my friends from IIT Roorkee, he was aerospace grad. He did his, I think, master's from University of Michigan as well. And he was working in a top-notch company. Wonderful, very sharp guy. The moment COVID hit, he lost his job because there was no demand. Aerospace industry is full on a toss. The moment that thing hit, what he had to do, either he can go and cry, but he didn't cry. Obviously, the moment he realized that ये चीज workout नहीं करेगा, he changed his domain completely. Imagine for 25 years, you're in aerospace, suddenly you realize that there is no money in aerospace and you have to survive at least, and you need to change your domain. He changed. Then he was willing to change and learn the new domain quickly. Because if you don't learn it, then your future is a bleak state. And the other example, if you see your financial wealth or whatever finances you have in your life, it is on a wobbly face. You think if another COVID hit, I'm gone anyway. If you're getting those feelings, then you're again in that edge of the world, edge of the building. You need to find an idea, implement it, and run it parallelly and run it very, very quickly and very, very fast. And this is where wealth building, everything comes into the picture. And this is the reason I started learning sales, marketing, leadership, relationship skills, everything I started learning, because I could realize I need to make my own bell curve. Okay. The fifth point, pay yourself first, the power of self-discipline. This is the most difficult step to practice. Even if I am running my own business or I'm working on my any idea, this step is still difficult. Let me show you the image of it. You'll be amazed with the image that will speak to you. So this is a cash flow of someone who pays others first. So what is others? You get your job, salary, income, you will have expense of taxes, rent, food, you will have bills, maybe your electricity bill, a lot of things will be there. Most of us, fundamentally, we feel the moment we get salary, let us first pay the liabilities first. And then we'll be debt free. हमको थोड़ा सा बोझ हल्का हो जाएगा. उसके बाद हम कुछ investment करेंगे. And this is what 90% people do. And what Robert says, I'll show you that also. And it's not easy to understand, but let me show you that. And this is what Robert says. He tells, whenever you get your salary or income, first pay your assets. What are your assets? Whatever you're going to get abundance in the coming future, that is an asset. It could feel like a liability initially, but it is not a liability. Let's say you're doing some course which can yield you wealth out of it. You need to pay that first. So what is it? Saving, investing, or whatever. Let's say you're doing some business, you need to invest in a business on a monthly basis. All those things will come under asset column because you're building an asset. After paying the asset, whatever money is remaining, you need to go into expenses. Now the practicality, what will hit for you? What will hit? It's simple as that. If your salary is, let's say 50K and your EMI, everything is around 40K and you have a lot of bill also. Now the challenge hits in because you have all 50K, 40K of liabilities. You want to unload yourself because if you have loaded, then you will emotionally turmoil. You have a lot of turmoil in your head. So you want to, whenever salary comes, within second, third of the month, you'll pay all the EMI and remaining what? Remaining will be that peanuts. What is peanuts? Maybe 5K, 4K, 6K will be remaining. And definitely you know that money is not enough for you for your asset building column. And why rich people do that different way? You have seen people take money to pay for their marriages. People take loan to pay for car. But have you ever seen people take loan to pay for themselves first? कितने लोग ऐसे करते हैं? But people who do that, they actually pressurize their brain to think creatively. If you have seen in multiple topics, I think last book we covered creative imagination and synthetic imagination. Creative imagination actually will work when you are under little pressure on your brain and you have to think creatively to pay your bill. that is when your real implementation will come into the picture. So the reason I'm focusing more on this point is because it is most difficult point. Even I'll tell you my example. For almost 3-4 years, I've been practicing it. 80% I've been succeeding. That is the reason today I have an asset value which creates an income of more than 25K per month. And why it took for 3-4 years? Because I chose that time to pay myself first. After that, all my bills should be paid off. It's not easy for sure, but if you can at least implement it, you'll see the magic, the kind of imagination you'll start getting into your life. Okay, so there's the fifth and most difficult step. The sixth point, build solid relationship with your coach, mentor, or pay your experts or advisors well. This is called power of good advice. Many of us, we might have some let's say a chartered accountant who takes care of our taxing wala thing. We generally think let us pay him less. We'll be very frugal, we'll negotiate with him, we'll pay him less such that he can save our money also, and you can also make good money. But actually that is a foolish thing. When it's something related to your finances, when it is something related to wealth building, you should actually make him feel you're paying him more. Because if you make him feel paying more, he will give you more wonderful ideas to protect, wonderful ideas to multiply. But if you pay him less, he will also think like that. Oh, this guy also paying me less, I'll also give him this much only, whatever I want. But that is a foolish thing. Even Robert tells. So with us, who are those people? With us, whatever PM coaches are there, mentors are there. It could be coaches around relationship. It could be coaches around finances. It could be coaches around multiple businesses as well. Now, if you invest solid relationship with them, if you value their time, if you earn their time properly, they would want best for you. They would want your best interest. When they want your best interest, then you will have multiple ideas to implement where you can become wealthy. And this is where I have so many people. I have Vijay who takes care of my decision making. Whenever I have to take some strong decision, I feel if Vijay is in my shoe, what he will do. Let's say if I am to take some relationship advice, I will feel if Akshay, Seema, or Rashmi Siddharth are there in my place, what will they do? Will they do the same thing? Or if Vijay is there, what will they do? If I have to take some advice on my job or career, I will find a guy who is very, very successful in his career. I will feel if he comes into my shoes, what kind of decision he will take. And that is where the solid relationship is important. In fact, if you don't have any other leads, at least find a broker or find a guru whom you can pay. That is fine. But pay it and get the power of good advice. The seventh one, choose heroes and the power of myth. This anyway, I've touched upon the point 6. Choosing heroes is fundamentally my childhood application, which I've been doing. I had a passion for playing cricket. And I used to feel whenever I used to play cricket, if Sachin is batting, how will you play? Whenever I used to bat, I used to think अगर आत्मा मेरे अंदर आ जाएगा तो cover drive कैसे मारेगा? अगर सचिन का आत्मा आ जाएगा तो straight drive कैसे मारेगा? I used to feel Sachin in my body and then play. If I want to field, I used to feel Mohammad Kaif and Yuvraj Singh. If I have to bowl, I used to think Javagal Srinath अगर आ जाएगा तो कैसे bowling करेगा? So let's say when it comes to investment, if Warren Buffett comes into my shoes, or if I go into his shoes, what decision he will take? Let's say if you're not able to relate with Warren Buffett, for me, Vijay is financially free. So if Vijay comes into my shoes, what kind of financial decisions Vijay will take? I will think like that. The moment you'll bring your coach, mentor, or any guru you have in your life to your situation and think like what they would do, then the magic will happen. It is definitely not easy, but it has worked with me in my personal life. Definitely will work with you as well. The last, teach and you shall receive the power of giving. Very simple, but very difficult to implement, because whenever you give, many people expect returns and they give while expecting a lot of returns, but actually it should be other way around. And I'm not telling out of just theory. I'll give you my own personal example. For past 3-4 years, when I was working on an idea, first 2-3 years, I was working so hard. I was giving. I was giving to PM community. I was giving to a lot of other communities. I was giving my time. I was giving my effort, just thinking that my asset column also can build from scratch. And while I gave for 2 to 3 years, I lost so many things also. But then finally, after 2 to 3 years, I don't know how God gifts you. God started giving me abundance. God started bringing me all my mastermind alliance with me. God bringing me a lot of good ideas to implement. God brought me sort of approaches to implement in my life to become financially successful. And power of giving only works when you definitely give people out of your own heart to help them really out of best interest. And the more people you help, the more you shall receive. And this is what I wanted to share, all the 8 points, just to summarize. The first point, finding a reason of greater than reality. Second point is choices, the power of choice. It's pretty simple and pretty important. Third is choose your friends carefully, power of association. Master a formula, then learn a new one. the power of learning quickly. Pay yourself first, the power of self-discipline. Build solid relationship with your coach, mentors. Pay your advisors well, the power of good advice. Choose heroes, the power of myth. And the final is teach and you shall receive, the power of giving. So I hope you'll be able to apply some of the learnings, and trust me, the points which I've taken, it is not my points. I've taken these points from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. The chapter name is Getting Started. And definitely now, once you read it, you will feel everything makes sense, because the points are very deep and very difficult to apply, but very powerful. Thank you so much for listening and being a very wonderful audience. It was a pleasure talking to all of you. Great. So I think we did a good job today. Okay. So we'll go with the summary then. Our summary expert quickly will do it. Prakash.
Okay, I will do it for you, Kiran. Okay, so today we started our book club with Lalitaji. Most of the time, Lalitaji started first. So she explained about the importance of credibility by having trust. Then Saurav very well explained with the giving a story of two friends, that how to create a pipeline of your source of income. Okay, then Arun discussed about making your attitudes as your allies. So he discussed about importance of attitude. So how it plays very crucial role in your life. Then Charanjit talked about how to think like a leader, where he has explained or given some real life examples, as well as examples from the book, that what are the qualities of the actual leader. Then Sahana talked about the people qualities. So the two most important points she has covered, like find strengths rather than weaknesses in the people, and also find out the uniqueness about the people and accordingly assign the work to them. Okay, then Karthik talk about the story of Make My Trip, who explain about the CEO of Make My Trip, that how the journey of Make My Trip happened. And he also explained about the 4 points given by Deep Karla, that is choose your friends carefully. It's all about people, and make friends at the workplace, and don't think of exits at early stages of your any venture you are starting. Okay, so here also Sahana end up with like giving one example of pipeline creation, that how Deep Karla created a pipeline for a pipeline of an income source. Okay, so then Shiva Kumar talked about the story of Jim, who is selected as a CEO. And out of this story, we came across one important point, like that how honesty leads to a trust every time. Then Mahima talked about the importance of attitude, where she talked about the 3 E's that really help us to build our attitude, correct attitude, that is environment, education, and experience. Then Dilip Chachu talked about the failures of leadership, and this is very much complementary to what he talked about the attributes of leadership in the last book club. So he talked about the 5 points today, that is inability to organize details, unwillingness to render humble services, expectation of pay for what they know, and fear of competition and lack of imagination he talked about. And Rajendra ji talked about the belief of success, that with his real life stories he explained that how it is important to have a belief in you that you can succeed. And then finally the groundbreaking talk from Kiran. He very well explained about the 7 or 8 powers which are really helping people to find out the gold. So he started this talk with the very well said sentence, like gold is everywhere, everyone do not have the right tools. So we need to have the right tools, and he talked about the 8 steps about having the right tools with you. So one of the tool is like choose friends carefully and the power of association, as well as pay yourself first. So so these things he talked about. So this, I think this will really help. Thank you all for sharing all these things. Thank you very much.
As usual, Prakash, you are like our pinch hitter master blaster. Every time you cover your summary, it feels like we have lived the book club in just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So it is really wonderful thing, Prakash.
Thank you very much.
Great. So I